Live from my mother's basement, here's Johnny. Hooray! Alright, everybody bear with me here because this video concept came to me after reading some article off of WWE.com about the 5 most wanted WrestleMania 29 dream matches. That was a lot to say, so I'm going to break that down. Dream matches for WrestleMania 29. Apparently these are the 5 most wanted, although I want to know by who. The author here is John Clapp. I've never heard of him before. Maybe that's because I don't pay attention to who writes the fucking articles on WWE.com. Honestly, I don't come here a lot, but this was a link on Facebook that I followed. I thought that it would be kind of fun to read, but in actuality for me, because I have a brain and it likes to think and reason and put things together, it was kind of infuriating. Let's begin here with the first one in the article. Now you have to actually click on the article, and it's like a slideshow with pictures and whatnot, just like every other stupid article on this thing. And honestly, if they just gave me a link to the article itself to where I didn't have to scroll over and wait for load time, and it presented itself like a real article, maybe that would make me enjoy it more. But the fact is, it's really just not accessible, and it's got advertisements and other shit on the side that gets you lost, and in typical WWE.com fashion, there's lots of other bullshit going on, that just takes away from your reading of the article instead. And I think it's meant to fool people to keep clicking on different shit on their website to say that they get a lot of activity. Anyway, back to the main fucking point. Now, WrestleMania 29 is going to be held in the New York, New Jersey area, the Meadowlands, and to be honest, it's supposed to be predicted to be, the biggest WrestleMania of all time, even though last year it was the same thing they said about Miami. If anything, I'd imagine that WrestleMania 30 would be the biggest WrestleMania of all time, because not only is it going to be at the Madison Square Garden, again, hopefully, but, those 10-year WrestleManias tend to be drawing more people out, because 10s are a lot more special of a number than 29 or 28. Of course, as we all know, WrestleMania 20 had a mix of good and bad moments. The bad moments being Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Oh God. The good moments being that two guys you never thought would capture titles respectively did so. Although they're both now dead and gone, and we're probably more worse off for it. The first match that they bring up in terms of this dream match shit being the most wanted is a tag team title match. And this, of course, assumes that Kane and Daniel Bryan are going to hold the tag titles all the way through WrestleMania. Guys, it's not even November yet. None of this shit is set in stone. And the way that they've been teasing Kane and Daniel Bryan already makes me wonder if they're not going to split up by the Royal Rumble itself and have either a big match there or eliminate each other from the Royal Rumble and then face each other again at WrestleMania. Wait, they didn't face each other at WrestleMania. I'm misquoting myself. Orton faced Kane at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan dropped the World Heavyweight title to Sheamus. I remember my shit. I'm just very antsy right now and misspeaking. Anyway, Kane versus Daniel Bryan in what could very possibly be Kane's last WrestleMania match. That's where I think they would go with the whole fucking storyline. Not that they would still have the titles. But anyway, if you don't allow yourself to believe that for an instant, try to wrap your head around the match that they're suggesting. That is Mankind and The Rock rejoining forces as the Rock and Sock Connection to challenge for the Tag Team Championship. My first problem with this is that neither The Rock nor Mankind are under contract. And if they were to win the World Tag Team titles to begin with, which they should, because those two are much bigger stars than Kane and Daniel Bryan, who don't have a future after retaining the titles anyway, and should be singles competitors to begin with, the whole thing is these guys aren't tag team wrestlers. And at your biggest fucking pay-per-view, you want to establish that a real tag team has your tag team titles. Mankind is retired. He's done. Mick Foley really can't wrestle another match. He's old. He's broken down. Even if he was to get tacks and fucking garbage cans and kendo sticks and all that shit to make it special, it'd be a one-off, and he's not going to fucking appear even the next Raw to drop the titles and then to have another rematch after that at the next pay-per-view like Extreme Rules or some shit. It's not going to happen. Okay, Mankind is best used as an on-air personality or behind the fucking scenes as some kind of trainer or to help script promos or just to be like a morale booster for guys. He doesn't belong in the ring anymore. He's given us all he can really give. Not to mention that they've got The Rock tied up in this bullshit at the Royal Rumble where he gets a title shot. Ultimately, telling me, the smart fan that fucking thinks, that he's going to be involved in WrestleMania as a singles competitor in the fucking title scene to have a big blow-off match with somebody else, I don't care who, but over the fucking title to begin with. He'll probably carry the title until WrestleMania, after he wins it at the Royal Rumble, and then go off afterward to do some more movies in Hollywood. That's where he is right now. He's not a full-time wrestler. He's teased about coming back and having another run as the champion. If that's the way they're going to do it, yeah. But they're not going to have him for like another fucking 3 years under contract. He's going to be, you know, appearances every now and then. He won't be on the roster full-time. And honestly, it doesn't help anybody else that's coming up if he is. They can sell WrestleMania by having The Rock in it, yes, but he's not going to be in a fucking tag team match, especially with an old partner of his that's retired, against Kane and Daniel Bryan. Two guys that, while, you know, have some kind of chemistry, and this angle's been entertaining for a little while, that even I would be behind staying together until WrestleMania, unless they're going to drop the straps to a real established tag team that they've built up, and not on the same caliber as a Rock. Kane isn't as big of a superstar as The Rock, and if you're putting Mankind in there on his own team, where's the balance on the other end to make it feel like there's big guys against Rock and Mankind? It just doesn't work. So let me stop ranting about that, because obviously I've spent too much time on it. Here's the next fucking match they said that they wanted to promote, if this would load for me, because it's being slow. Come on. This is bullshit. Click. Okay, here's the second match. This is CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar. Here's what I have a problem with. First of all, they're both Paul Heyman guys, supposedly. Secondly, they've done an angle already between two Paul Heyman guys fighting each other, which was Big Show versus Brock Lesnar. Third of all, Lesnar has already made it perfectly clear he doesn't want to do business with the company. And anybody could see the fact that CM Punk would get throttled by this guy, because not even the strong man John Cena could help from bleeding profusely. And Punk is classically a vanilla midget. Although he is very gifted in the ring, Lesnar would fucking shoot him up and destroy him in any kind of real fight, which is what you would see. This wouldn't be a wrestling match, this would be a bloodbath. I get that it's not the match for Extreme Rules. Nobody's going to be supposedly cutting their head open on the steps. Whatever. But you think that realistically that Lesnar is going to do business and not bloody up CM Punk? And do you think CM Punk is really going to want to get himself bloodied up like this and do a job? Do you think that Lesnar would ever put over CM Punk? It just wouldn't make any sense to me. Punk has had this ginormous fucking run for just about a year as the champion on top, and to take the belt off of him just to have him fight Brock Lesnar, who's never going to be there again, and not to have a signature victory over him, you know, if you make Punk do the job to Lesnar, it only hurts his career. And if you have Punk go over Lesnar, I just don't see any of the fans buying into it, because Lesnar is a huge, gigantic machine of destruction without a heart, and Punk supposedly is beloved by the fans still. Nobody's going to get behind Lesnar in the first place. These are two Paul Heyman guys. I get Paul Heyman's supposed to be some creative mastermind or whatever, but I don't think that Heyman is going to stay around the business even long enough to go into WrestleMania, let alone have much to do after the fact. I think that once the belt is off of Punk, you're not going to see Heyman anymore. I think that his usefulness on air, even being wrapped up in the CM Punk storyline in the first place, is really odd. And I just wouldn't be excited for this. You would want to have Lesnar in some kind of huge match again, whether it be revenge against Cena, whether it be him against somebody else, like The Rock even, or even just to have CM Punk versus The Rock, like they've alluded to. You don't need Lesnar in the fucking equation to sell WrestleMania. Honestly, he didn't sell that much shit for Extreme Rules, if you look at the pay-per-view buys. So this to me just looks like some asshole on the internet that has a hard-on and doesn't really follow the fucking sport. Could it be a good match if there's actual wrestling involved? Yeah, probably, because both of these guys can go, but what is the fucking point? Speaking of what is the fucking point, here's another thing I have a problem with, which is the third match, according to this article. It would be Ryback versus John Cena. On paper, this is a great sounding match. It's got one of your future up-and-coming, just monster guys against the guy that's been the face of your company for, I don't know, fucking 8 years now? 7 years, whatever it's been. Here's what I have a problem with. John Cena's been away from the championship and also lost at WrestleMania last year, and it's been a good year, essentially already. If you're making John Cena do another job at WrestleMania, nobody's going to give half a shit about him again. And granted, he's an established star already, and he's probably the biggest one they have right now without having to bring somebody back like a Rock or an Undertaker or whatever. But it's WrestleMania 29, and I just don't see them turning Ryback heel, and I don't see them turning Cena heel. This isn't Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior, where you're going to have people come out of the woodwork for this shit. You know, you can't have two guys go in there that are essentially playing a power game like they did, main event and steal the whole show or whatever. It's just not going to happen. Ryback is, you know, just, to me, not all that exciting. He's got a lot of the kids behind him because of the Feed Me More chant, and I think really that's all he's got going for him. I saw him live in Hartford, Connecticut, the event I went to with my girlfriend Stephanie, and he couldn't even get Paul Heyman up on his shoulders to give the finisher to. John Cena is your strong man of the company that can do his finisher, which essentially you have to get him up on your shoulders, to Big Show, to Mark Henry, and he could probably do it to Tensai as well. Ryback hasn't been able to do that, and I don't see this helping John Cena, the face of their company, at all to do a job here. And it really fucks over Ryback if he has to do a job to John Cena, which is what everybody would suspect would happen. There's not going to be some epic heel turn. This isn't going to be like a 1996 Bash at the Beach NWO thing, you know. And even if it is, even if it was like really big time, oh, they surprised us, it's already been done before. Another big heel turn, whoopee. You know, and they'd probably turn Ryback, and it really wouldn't be the right decision. And Cena would have to come back and avenge his loss at the next pay-per-view, and it would just be, ugh. Nobody wants to see this match. I mean, unless you're 5 and you don't know any better. But if anything, they need to put a title on Ryback at some point, because they're pushing him into this main event scene way too soon now, let alone by WrestleMania. You don't know what the hell's going to happen with him. If he's on this Goldberg-type run and he just steamrolls Cena, then it's like, why is Cena still around? You know? If he's not chasing the title and in a main event fucking spot on the card, what is he doing? Because I don't see Cena as the new Dolph Ziggler putting people over, you know, being a workhorse. I don't see him bumping his ass off, you know. He's not going to go down into the Intercontinental Championship. He's not going to fucking be a tag team champion again, ever since that stupid angle with the Nexus, where he destroyed all of them at the end anyway. It just really, it's like they're not even trying with this. You know, and I get that they might have to just put something out there for a WWE.com article, but if I'm seeing this on their website and they're promoting this shit, shouldn't it be something that's more relevant? Shouldn't it be something that does more good than it does harm? I'm just saying, guys. Like, here's the number 4. This is a women's match. You can guess who's going to be in it. Oh, look, Trish Stratus. Somebody that hasn't wrestled in how many years? Yeah, okay. Now, that would be fine if she came back and wrestled somebody else, like maybe Awesome Kong, who was no longer under contract with WWE. Oh, her name was Karma, but they didn't use her except for the Royal Rumble. Kelly, the face of that division, is gone. Eve, while being, a recognizable name, would never be able to keep up with Trish Stratus in the ring. I don't know anybody wants to see that. If anything, they should do Trish Stratus versus Layla. Two wrestling people. Or Trish Stratus versus Lita. Bring them both back and have them be in a big, blood feud or something. But no, you're going to put Trish Stratus against AJ Lee. AJ Lee hasn't wrestled a fucking match since I don't remember when. She's been in some kind of GM role, and now they're firing her. So you really don't know what the fuck is going on. She hasn't been in the running for a title shot. Why would she get a place against Trish Stratus? And why would Trish Stratus come back? AJ Lee supposedly is a good girl right now, getting screwed. If she was to turn heel and side with, Vince McMahon or side with, whoever, but she's supposed to get probably vengeance in this dumb angle with Vicky Guerrero. Why would Trish Stratus come back to challenge her? It makes no sense. It's kind of dumb. AJ's been involved with Bryan and Punk and Kane and whatever. Okay, it's been like this revolving door, and she's done nothing for the company in the time that she's been there with them, except to interject herself into storylines, and nobody really gave a shit about it except for the other competitors that were in it. At least for me. I get that she's a popular diva, but Trish has been the ultimate diva, and AJ Lee has a whole lot of fucking, things to go through and a lot more championships, she hasn't had any, to win before she's on the level to face a Trish Stratus. That's my fucking assessment. I wouldn't want to see that match. I think it would be fucking terrible. Here's the last idea that they had for a dream match. Here's three guys that supposedly were in the end of an era match last time, and this is going to be like a big steal the show main event. Undertaker versus Triple H versus HBK. Triple threat. Oh God. No, I don't want to see that. How many fucking years have we seen these guys all involved in a storyline with each other? The past 4? Does it really need to happen again? No. HBK's been retired for going on 3-4 years? I can't fucking keep track. Undertaker is in no position to really wrestle and go anymore. His fucking hip has been bothering him so bad. He can't fucking get around. WWE has had to fly doctors out to his home. He can't even fucking handle the plane ride to go to New York to see him. And Triple H, wow, he was involved with Lesnar at SummerSlam. He's going to come back for another one-off main event type match and not put anybody else over that needs it. The whole point of WrestleMania is while you're featuring these big names, you're also putting over new talent and getting people excited on new things. None of these guys are ever going to go fight for the title again. None of these guys are ever going to do anything bigger than they've already done in the company. Why the fuck would the three of them get together and fight each other? It's nonsense. This website, WWE.com, is nonsense. It's for babies. It's for 8-year-olds. It's for people that don't fucking think, people that don't analyze the product. Am I doing too much of that? Am I just bitter because WWE hasn't put out shit that's interested me lately? Maybe. But I'm entitled to that because I've been following the product for almost 26 years now. And when I think that something looks like a pile of dog shit, smells like a pile of dog shit, it's probably dog shit. I know they can do a lot better than this. I'm happy they put the Intercontinental title on Kofi Kingston again, but yay for repetition, they've done that before. And instead of elevating Miz back to the fucking main event, which, maybe he deserves that because he's really worked his ass off, done all the right things, done all the media stuff, promoting and whatnot, been in a movie, maybe they should push Kofi Kingston who hasn't been there yet. That might actually draw some fucking attention from somebody. How about working on guys like Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes that, or even Sandow, who have been doing fucking amazing and really deserve a chance to be at the top and wrestle for a big belt. But they probably won't get it. Sheamus will probably still be your heavyweight champion going into WrestleMania, which will give him a full year run. And while I don't necessarily have a problem with a full year run with a title, who the fuck is going to come up and face Sheamus? And by the way, the Sheamus character has been really boring. And the Sheamus character also lost to Triple H a few WrestleManias back, if anybody remembers that. And they had to do all this work to change him into a babyface to get people to give a shit. And now that he just brogue kicks from out of nowhere, and, Yeah, it's stale, it's plain, it's dumb, and every match is like that. How many times did they have a chance to put the belt on a Del Rio, or could have had Ziggler come out and cash in the fucking Money in the Bank thing? It's really just absurd. And if they're going to wait and do Ziggler versus Sheamus at WrestleMania with the cash in or some other shit, or cash in at the Royal Rumble, or cash in at fucking Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania, it's really just, you can see the writing on the wall. It's not going to be a big swerve, and it's not going to be like a big, huge fucking dream match by any means. They could have Sheamus have to face a legitimate contender like Lesnar, if they really still had him around, could fight for the heavyweight title against a brawler like Sheamus that's supposed to be a tough guy. That would be a signature victory. But at the same time, what good does it do him if it's still stale and the fucking title needs to be on somebody else? I don't know. Maybe I'm just bitter. Maybe I'm just really tired of this shit. Maybe I should just go watch TNA tonight and not worry about WWE. But this is something that I spent some time reading about because of a Facebook link. And honest to God, all it's done is just make me more upset that this is what they think that the 5 most wanted matches are. I could come up with 10 other matches that are really interesting and that you're not going to fucking sit and cry about afterward, with logical booking, progression that made sense in the first place, and featuring new talent and guys that really deserve the spot. I'd also make tag team matches that were for tag teams and fucking try to reinvigorate that division. But I don't work for WWE, and I never will, so they don't give a shit. The majority of the fans probably don't give a shit, and I don't give a shit either at this point. I've just spent a long time ranting. For those of you that made it through the video, give me your thoughts on whatever. If I lost you halfway through, then you're not going to see this anyway, but thanks for at least hanging out that long. I know it sounds like an angry, disenfranchised, old, bitter person that really wants the product to be better, but that's exactly what I want. I want the product to be better because I want to be excited to be a wrestling fan. I don't want to go, oh God, it's Monday. What am I going to do for 3 hours? I can't watch Raw. And honestly, I haven't watched Raw. And the reason I went to the house show is because Stephanie had never been to a house show, and I wanted to give her a wrestling experience. Usually, if I say that I'm going to go watch the WWF, WWE, at a house show, it's going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be incredible. She's got nothing to compare it to. I've been to fucking shows in the past that tore the house down. And I've been to non-WWE shows. I've been to TNA Live, and it was fucking incredible. It was probably 10 times the amount of enjoyment I got out of this. So, to each person his own. If you want to counteract and tell me why these would be great matches, if you want to be polite about it, go ahead and comment it below. If you think that I'm just full of hot air and never want me to make a video again, yeah, you can say that, but keep it positive, man. Because that's really what I'm after in the YWC. I'm not trying to call anybody out for being stupid. I just really think that this G-rated product needs to fucking go, and they could really do with some new ideas and some new creative team. Anyway, this has been a Live from My Mother's Basement production. Keep on doing what you guys do out there. I'll see you around.